Welcome back to the final part of my Platinum Guide for Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin. Just some cleanup here. There's a lot of new stuff that's been added, but basically first thing we're going to want to do is jump into the side missions, and you can really do it on whatever difficulty you want. I started trying on Chaos, see if I could save some time later, but by the end I did drop down to hard difficulty. If you're just trying to breeze through it, you can always go down to story difficulty as well. But if you do decide to do it on Chaos, it'll just help you in the long run because you'll be able to gain more anima crystals than you're spending. There's really no point in going through each one individually. They're pretty self-explanatory. It's going to take place in all of the main mission maps. It's just going to be doing them kind of backwards, killing certain enemies, things like that. As soon as that's done, you'll have the Stranger's Memories trophy out of the way. And with that, you'll have gotten some smithy stones that unlocked a new ability in the smithy here. One of them, as long as you have affinity on the weapon, so if you did save a weapon for the other portion, you won't be able to do that unless it had affinity. But look for one that has affinity and that you happen to have a lot of crests for. So for instance, I happen to have a ton of Paladin's crests, and it only costs one on this lower level weapon, so I'm just going to upgrade it one time. And that's all it takes, and that's another trophy out of the way. And then if you did save one of those low-level weapons like I did, for the next portion, you're just going to upgrade the special effect of a weapon, and same thing, just pick a random special effect. I think I went with the agility and changed it all the way up to as high as it would go. And then, there you go. 3 trophies out of the way. The next portion kind of took me a little bit of time, but maybe you'll breeze through it. I was just a little rusty, but we do have to go back to Chaos mode, and the first mission we want to do is the very beginning mission, Illusion at Journey's End. We have to run through it at level 170, and that will get us the limit release for swordsmen. We already got one of them in the last episode, so we're going to be getting the next one here, and then we'll just have one more to get. So this is just the same mission. With all the gear that we got before, you should be able to breeze through that one pretty quickly. And you'll get a couple other limit releases as well, but mostly we just wanted that swordsman one. And I would take the time to set up the auto dismantle that they added. That's very helpful, saves you a lot of time. Don't have to worry about getting over-geared. Next we're going to Memories of Poison, and same thing, we're going to go to the 170, and this will be the last limit release that we need for swordsmen, so this is just the one that ends with the fight with the Marlboro. As soon as you complete that, you'll have all the limit releases that you need, but whether or not you did all the side missions on Chaos difficulty, you may be ahead of the game on the next portion. I did not. Like I said, I dropped down to hard difficulty, so I was well behind on how many anima crystals and anima shards that I needed to level up my swordsman. So you'll see here that I only have about 45 crystals, 137 shards, and even with all that, that would only get me to job level 54. So if you played Chaos, you're probably ahead of that, and even if you played that class while you were working through the side missions, you'd probably have a bit more of a head start than I did, but I kind of goofed up on that one, I guess. So I gotta go run back through the stymied, but before I do that, or midway through, what I did was come back here and just spend 1 master point for any of the classes that we leveled up during the story portion. So it doesn't matter what you put it into, there's 4 different categories. Literally, you can look through them, find something that you think works for your build, or if you're just going for the trophy, just put a random point into one of them. And you can always change it later, but as soon as you drop that point, there you go, another trophy down. And you can always pull that point back out, put it somewhere else later, they don't stay. I ran the stymied a bunch more times until I had enough. As you can see here, I ended up getting 280 of the anima crystals, and I still had my 137 shards, so you can try and find like a good mixture of shards and crystals so that you're not overdoing it on the XP. I know if I did too many crystals and then all of my shards, then I might be wasting a few shards because the crystals are worth so much more. So just find the point where you're only having to use 1 extra shard to get yourself to 99. Then as soon as you proceed with that and hit the job at 99, that's the last trophy out of the way. For some reason, I just really took my time here, making sure I was absolutely not going to waste any XP, but it seems like it's always going to end up wasting like 3,810. So I just decided to spend all the shards and as few crystals as possible since they're worth more. But that'll pop the Job Master trophy, and shortly after that, if you followed everything else up to this point, you'll get the platinum. And that's pretty much it. I mean, if you really wanted me to go in depth into the side missions, you can let me know. I did record all that footage, but when I was going back through to do the edit and all that, it just seemed like they were so straightforward, and like the boss fights are boss fights we've already done, the mini bosses are mini bosses we already done, and since you can play it on story, it just really didn't seem like there was a point to go through each one. But if you're struggling with one or something, I still have that footage. Just let me know in the comments if there's a specific level that you'd like to see. I can pull that footage up and post it, and we can get that taken care of. But that is the end. I'm sorry it took so long to get this out, and I appreciate everyone that stuck it out, and hopefully this did help you get your platinum.